Welcome back to The Right Gun. If you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and share. Help me grow this channel and the community. One of the things I wanted to do with The Right Gun was help to educate and inform the new and first-time gun buyer. And this video is getting back to that. We are going to look at the Glock series of pistols. We are going to discuss how to disassemble the pistol, clean the pistol, and reassemble it. Now, the beauty of Glocks, this is a Generation 4, and what I'm showing you on the Generation 4 will work on the newest generation, which is Generation 5, and all of the previous generations. Glocks, again, are very simple, they're very reliable, and they have not changed much from Generation 1 through Generation 5. They're also very simple because you do not need any special cleaning equipment. We are going to use the barrel rod and the nylon brush that came with this Glock. We are going to only use 2 cotton swab pads, which you can pick up at any sports store or any gun store, and we are going to use approved firearm lubricant. So we're going to set the cleaning material aside. Here is the magazine. We're also going to set that aside. We're also going to ensure that there's no ammo anywhere near our work surface. This is important because to disassemble the Glock, you will need to pull the trigger. So we are going to visually and physically inspect twice to ensure that there is no ammo or no magazine anywhere near this weapon or in the weapon or near our work area. Having completed that, we are going to let the slide come forward or into battery. We are going to pull the trigger, and we're going to make sure our trigger stays to the rear. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways to remove this slide. The first way is what I recommend for somebody who may have weak hands or have arthritis or just don't have the manual dexterity they used to. So again, with the trigger pulled to the rear, you are going to use a cushioned surface and you are going to push the front end of the barrel so it moves about 1/4 of an inch, just like this. And with the slide lock, you are going to push the slide lock towards the trigger. You are simply going to then pull up and the slide will detach itself. And you separate as such. Now I am going to put the slide back on and we are going to discuss the second method to remove the slide. Pull the trigger. We're going to take the web of our hand between the thumb and forefinger. We're going to stick that under what they call the beaver tail. We're going to reach around, grab the slide, pull it out of battery. Now remember, the trigger is still pulled to the rear. We're going to take the slide lock and we're going to pull it down and we're just going to release it. And the slide comes free. That is the hardest portion of cleaning the Glock. So now we have the frame. We're going to set the frame aside and we're going to focus on the slide first. To begin disassembly of the slide, we are going to take the recoil spring assembly and we are going to push forward, and you will find it dislodges relatively easily from the barrel. You are then going to take the barrel, push it up, and simply remove. These are the 4 main parts of the Glock. No further disassembly for cleaning is needed. This is all you need to maintain a healthy firearm. When cleaning the frame, do not use any lubricant. You can use a cotton swab. You can push it into any area that you want. Make sure you're not bending any of the springs. You can see that there is some residual carbon that is left here. And really just a good cleaning is all that's needed. One portion that I would recommend is taking the guide rod, the barrel rod, and kind of pushing down into this area here. You can see that there is some carbon that's built up there, some powder residue. Again, you want to kind of do this gingerly, and that is really all that is needed for the frame. Now for the slide. The Glock Armorer's Manual recommends that you put a drop of oil on the slide and then you work it in. One of the other things you can do is take this cotton swab that you've been using, start it from the breech end here, and just push that through. That's it. The barrel is complete. You could use the recoil spring assembly and just kind of wipe it down, get some of the, again, the powder residue off of there. That's pretty much it. For the slide itself, again, very simple. You're going to take about 3 drops of oil. 1 drop I would recommend putting into, here, let me use a pointer here. I'd recommend putting 1 drop of oil into the slide channel right here, into the slide channel right here, because this is going to ride all throughout the frame, and then 1 here where there's metal-to-metal contact with the frame. I recommend starting at the ends with the drop of oil, because as you slide the slide back on, it will lubricate the slide channel locks here on the frame. That will help with the friction of the recoil. And that is it. That is really all you need to do. Of note, there is a sort of blowhole here. You want to make sure that there is no residual oil. There's no residual oil that blocks this. This is how gases and other material are expelled during firing. So you want to make sure that the oil that you put on here does not coat or lubricate that. Once you've done that, we're going to reassemble. So we're going to take the slide, we're going to turn it over, we're going to drop our barrel into the slide as such. And again, the importance of making sure that the barrel is lubricated is there is metal-to-metal contact here during operation. So we're going to want to make sure that that is oiled. There is a half-moon notch here in the barrel. I think you can see it right there. That is where this portion of the recoil spring assembly will sit. So you will put it, insert here, and then you're going to depress the spring just a little bit. You're going to make sure that the recoil spring assembly is sitting into that half-moon notch right there. You'll make sure that it's centered. You are then ready to reattach to the frame. You want to make sure that you guide it on very steadily, because sometimes the extractor can get caught up on the rear slide plate here. So you just slide that on as such, push it to the back, lock it open. Now we are going to perform a functions check. You'll see that the trigger is forward. You will pull the trigger. You will keep holding the trigger. You will cycle the slide, still keeping hold of the trigger. You will let the trigger go and you will hear 1 click. Now my finger is still on the trigger. It hasn't gone all the way forward. You will pull the trigger again. Let go of the trigger. Cycle, the trigger comes forward. Functions check is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Share it with one person. Help me grow this channel and the community. From The Right Gun, thank you very much.